Hi, we're Galaxians. We're a synth and drums duo. My name's Matt and I play drums.
My name's Jed and I play synths and programming.
In a way, it was like at the end it was quite overwhelming. Like the response from people was like really amazing, and the tent just filled up really quickly, and it was just really so nice to see everyone like digging it and like hollering and dancing, and we totally feed off that. I don't know, it just kind of makes me feel more excited. You know, it feels like it's more intimate and it feels like it's a shared experience, you know. And I don't really like that. I don't really like having much distance between us and the audience and each other as well, you know, like the smaller the space and the more crammed in we are, and the more we're kind of together, it's like, you know, that's the better it always is, you know.
Our name is actually based on the ZX Spectrum import of that game. It's very, very important to get that right, just to put it on the record.
You know, we were just like making a list of names that we both thought were like pretty cool, and that was one that came up that we were both like, oh yeah, that's cool. So
I kind of think space is fascinating. So last week when we played at this observatory, it was kind of like ideal because you know, combining space and funk into space funk is like, that's something I've always wanted to do. So I guess the name is sort of reflective of electronicness.
The stuff we're really influenced by is like a lot of New York music. Fair to say probably between like 1980 up to like kind of 88, 89. It's like there's so many developments musically in that space of time, you know, like so many changes and developments. And like the first synthesizers coming in, the first drum machines, the slight changes, like compositional changes between like disco, boogie, electro, house.
I like the kind of bare minimalism of Detroit. I think it's kind of reflective of the like city. I think it's kind of interesting place.
Yeah,
it's definitely a place I'd like to visit, even though it's supposed to be somewhere dangerous. But that's exciting to me. I think you need to have that bit of vegginess.
Over to you.
I can explain the difference between a Roland JX3P analog synthesizer and a Nord Electro digital synthesizer. The Roland is basically 30 years old. It attempts to create sounds like a flute or a trumpet, but it's so obviously not a flute or a trumpet, and it's so obviously a synthesizer that's the appeal of it to me, and you can just use it like for a bass line or something like that. And the Nord is basically a keyboard that is designed to recreate things like the Rhodes electric piano or Hammond organ, but it only does about 6 sounds, but it does them really well. And that's basically it, that's the difference.
We've got some more kind of fun gigs coming up, and we've got a record coming out on a New York label called Ditherdown. That's coming out in like November time. It's going to be like a 4-track 12-inch, and then we've got another record coming out in around the same time, November, on a label called Rotatingsouls, which is based in Atlanta, and they're both kind of dance labels that we really like. We really kind of have a lot of like admiration for and stuff, so we're really excited about that.